Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to get started in just a hot second. I'm just getting everything set up. If you are joining me live, I would love it if you could just give me a little confirmation that you can see me and hear me. Just leave it in the chat box. If you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, thank you. Yes, you can see and hear me. Perfect. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen now and you can hear me. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So hello everyone, my name is Melissa Ricker and I am so happy that you could join me today because we're going to be talking about 5 powerful yet easy things you can do today to start increasing your free time dramatically, to get back to happy, and to start finally living a fulfilling life as both mom and empowered woman. Okay, so this is what we're going to be talking about today, and you're going to be so glad that you decided to join. That I can promise you. All right, so let's get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you for saying hello. Hello, Christy. Hello, Charlotte. Okay, we're going to get started. Yay! And I do want to ask that you stay on to the end because, well, first of all, we've got a lot of great material that we're going to be covering. But also for everyone who stays on, I'm going to be giving you a really cool gift. I'm going to be giving you the exact template that I use to plan my days to make sure that I free up more than enough time while also prioritizing my biggest goals every single day. So stay on to the end and you're going to get this. It's called the Rule of 3. You're going to love it. But before we jump into the material, I just want to check in with you for a second. I want to make sure that you feel like you're in the right place because you've invested your time to be here with me today, and I want to make sure that you feel good about that because, you know, we all know as mothers how precious our time is. So you're in the right place today if you're spinning your wheels. Like you feel like you're really busy, but you aren't making any real progress. Then this is for you. And if as a mom you feel as though your true desires and your passions have been just kind of muted out by the needs and the wants of the people surrounding you. And you're definitely in the right place if you feel guilty right now. You know, because you feel as though you should be happier than you are. Or if you're worried that in 10 or 15 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to have all this regret because you realize that you never, reached your full potential or achieved anything really worthwhile in your life. So if any of these ring true for you, then trust me, you're in the right place, mama. Because in the next 30-ish minutes, I know how valuable your time is as a mom, but I can get a little passionate when I talk about this, but I'm going to try to keep it to 30 minutes. I want you to walk away from our time here together feeling relieved that there's a better way, like a better way to fulfill our dreams, to reach our biggest goals, and all the while, like, being the best mother to our kids and freeing up more time than you can even imagine, because that's what I have coming for you. And I want to let you know that it works. Like, it works because some of my clients have done amazing things when they start to put these steps into process. Like, here are some women who used to feel overwhelmed, like really defeated and lost. They felt as though they didn't have what it took to, be a mom and still reach their big goals. They got lost in that chaos and the stress of motherhood. And we all know that it is. It's very stressful sometimes. But now look, they're feeling empowered and in touch with what truly lights them up inside. And they have a plan. Okay, they have a plan. And they know that by pursuing their dreams, they are better mothers. And when they put a little intention into it, they can prioritize themselves without sacrificing a single second with their families. Okay, so one of my clients, I'm very proud of her. She just launched a side hustle, not really that long ago, to support a cause that she was really passionate about, and it really just took off, and she was able to leave her 9-to-5 job, which was a dream come true for her. And another wonderful woman that I worked with, she got the promotion that she had been going after for years, just 3 months after working together. And in her old position, she thought that she had to work 60 hours a week to impress her boss, so that she could eventually interview for this job. But when she finally embraced a few of these strategies, it really allowed her to focus on less and accomplish more. And when she did that, she immediately got the attention of her boss and her boss's boss. And then she immediately got the invitation to come interview for the job, and she landed it. So now she rarely works any overtime, and she makes more money in a higher pressure job. Like, it's amazing. I also recently worked with a client who just checked back in with me, actually, and she was telling me that she has now paid off $10,000 of debt in just 6 months. And that was one of her big goals, because she really was under a lot of stress from having all this debt hanging over her head, and she really wanted to be financially free. So, I've also had a lot of clients who have come to me really unhappy about the way they looked, and they were carrying extra weight, maybe sometimes after having babies. And after getting really clear on where they were stuck, every single one of them was able to lose the weight by just adjusting their daily routines and designing a plan that worked for them in their life. And it did not involve hours at the gym every day, I can promise you that. So maybe you're thinking, okay, well, it worked for them, but will it work for me? And, I hear you, because maybe you feel as though you've been doing the right things. You get organized, you've gotten organized in the past, and you've tried to stay on track with your goals, but it isn't working. You've bought the planners, and you make the to-do list every day, and you've tried to prioritize your needs because you know it's important. And my goodness, you've tried every productivity trick in the book. And these are all good things to do. They really are. But I'm going to talk to you today about all these things in a new way. A way that does work. A way that mothers need to hear about. All right, so just very quickly, who the heck am I? Well, as I already mentioned, I am Melissa Ricker, and more than anything, I just want you to know that I've been where you are. And I can speak to it with such clarity because I was there not that long ago, and I found my way through. So I'm now a certified integrative wellness and life coach, a certified happiness coach, and a life purpose coach. So you can see that I really love coaching. I'm very passionate about it. I'm also an efficiency expert, an engineer, and a mother to these two beautiful boys that you see on your screen. But after becoming a mother, I really struggled at first. I fell into the same trap that so many of us do, and I gave my all to my baby. And by doing that, I left nothing for myself. And I became depressed, anxious, and I really started feeling like I'd never make the impact on the world that I wanted to. And it was when I noticed that those feelings and those thoughts were spilling into other areas of my life and affecting them, such as my relationship with my husband was suffering, my health was definitely suffering. And most importantly, the way I showed up with my baby boy was suffering. That's when I knew that things had to change. So what I did is I took everything that I learned as an engineering manager and, efficiency guru, and everything that, I was starting to learn about myself and my new, how I was redefining myself. And I started applying that to my own life. So this is what I do now. I help other mothers who are struggling to keep their passions alive after having kids, struggling to, reach the goals that they wanted to either before they became a mother or now that they are a mother. Mothers who, have pushed their dreams and their goals to the back burner and they're done with that. So I help those mothers. I help them awaken their confidence, create happiness without the guilt, and start living their true purpose, because I help them realize that when you have all those pieces put together, you'll absolutely be a better mother. And I love what I do now. So after kind of telling you about my turning point, I'd like to ask you, how would you feel if you had the power to rewrite your life script and create a reality where you actually woke up excited and energized about your day? You were able to fit in everything that you wanted with a little breathing room to spare. And you started making real progress towards your goals that mean so much to you, but they've been buried under the chaos and stress of motherhood. And what if you had crazy confidence because you no longer had all those, negative beliefs and negative patterns that hold you back? And then because of that, every night you went to bed feeling accomplished and fulfilled. How would that feel? And based on what I've shared about the women that I've worked with, I'm telling you that it's absolutely possible for you too. But let's talk about what you really need. You need a plan that works. And this is a really sad fact that most of us spend more time planning a single vacation than we do planning our life. And isn't that kind of scary? Because we all know as mothers how time goes by so quickly. And if we don't have a plan, if we aren't intentional, then it goes by and nothing gets done. No real progress has been made. And I see all the time that a lot of us mothers, we do spend time talking about what we want. We talk about our ambitions and our dreams and our goals, and maybe we even complain about it because we feel stuck and we feel that, we can't get to a place where we can have those things. So we talk a lot about it, but we don't spend any time taking action to make them happen. And then what happens? Think back before you became a mother. Think about, the earlier part of your life. We plan like crazy, to go to college, to get married. Oh my goodness, how much time did you spend planning your wedding? And then we make plans to have children. And once we do, what happens? We get so busy with our careers and our family and just life that we don't pick ourselves up again until the kids leave home. I see it happen a lot. And by then, sometimes it's just too late to make the impact that we want. So before we just jump in to the steps that I'm going to be telling you today, I just want to ask you a question. Are you showing up in your life like a woman who gets what she wants? And feel free to drop a comment in the comment box if this is speaking to you. Are you showing up in your life like a woman who gets what she wants? Or do you find yourself just drifting through your days, kind of accepting whatever it is that life hands you? Because if you are accepting less than what you want, I hope that today is your wake-up call. Because it was when I made this really important and really simple but really important mindset shift that I started to feel empowered, and I was able to take charge of my life and change my reality and to make the most of that precious time and accomplish, what I really wanted to in life. This is when it all started. Okay, so I'm already talking a little more than I had planned to. I warned you I get pretty pumped up about this stuff, but I want to move on because I want to start talking about the essential steps that you need to start taking. So how do you flip the switch? How do you turn it on so that you can start to be the best mama to your babies by being the best and most fulfilled woman that you can be? How do you reach your full potential without worrying about sacrificing anything? Okay, so that's what I'm going to be telling you, the 5 steps you need to take. Are you ready? Let's get going. So step 1 is releasing the mom guilt. Okay, I've read a few different surveys and they all say that something like 95% of moms suffer from mom guilt. And all I have to say from that is the other 5% were probably lying. Because I think all moms feel it. It's an equal opportunity affliction. From stay-at-home moms, they feel it. Big-time CEO, millionaire moms feel it. Hollywood star moms feel it. And unless you're a mother, you just don't get it, And it comes down to this one kind of belief that runs through our heads, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough because I fed formula, or I'm not good enough because I can't get my baby to sleep in the crib. I'm not good enough because I want a career. Or I'm not good enough because I want to stay home. I'm not good enough because I want more out of life than I have. I'm not good enough because I'm not as happy as I should be. Mom guilt is real. And it can cause anxiety and depression. It can cause us to let go of our health, our careers, our dreams, our ambitions. And here's the truth about it. It's a trap. It's a trap that's designed to hold us back from pursuing our goals and dreams wholeheartedly. And ironically, it's this trap that keeps us from being the best mom that we can be. Okay, so the point is that you have to release the mom guilt if you want to be a better mother. And I know it sounds counterintuitive there, but the best gift you can give your children is a mom who is whole, a mom who is called to her purpose. And if you're not pursuing, your big dreams and prioritizing yourself and living out your true calling, then you're going astray. And when you do that, you're not doing any justice for those little people who look at you for an example on how to live. So how do you release it? Well, let's talk about that. It all comes down to awareness, rationalization, and action. So awareness, like really recognizing and internalizing how that guilt is holding you and your family back. Like, where is it keeping you stuck, unhappy, unfulfilled, and maybe even unhealthy? And how are those things affecting the way you show up with your children? This is where you have to get really honest with yourself. And then rationalizing it. Like, is whatever you're harboring guilt for, like whatever it is that you feel guilty about, is it worth it? Like, is living your dream or taking care of yourself really worthy of guilt? And if it is something that deserves a little guilt, like maybe you're consistently working late nights because your boss asks you to stay late or you have too much on your plate, then what's really behind it? Is it a lack of strong boundaries? Is it a time management thing? So rationalize what it is that you're feeling guilty about and if it deserves guilt. And if it is something, what can you do to fix it? Action is what fixes things, not guilt. So what action can you take? I mean, what boundary can you put in place? Or, can you find better and more efficient ways, to work or communicate so that you free up more time? Whatever the solution is, you take the action. That is the only real way to release the mom guilt. And I'm not saying it won't come back, because it will, but this process gets easier and more automatic the more you do it. And then over time, you really start to recognize that when you're intentional and you really do prioritize yourself, like, there isn't any need for that mom guilt, because you'll be in a better place and you'll be able to better give your best self to those that you love. And that's really what the rest of the steps are going to be about, because you will absolutely have less of that mom guilt if you prioritize yourself and you start living intentionally, you start following your dreams and pursuing your passions both for yourself and your family. Okay, so that's step one, release the mom guilt. Now, step number two is really about gaining clarity about what you actually want out of life and then setting goals to get there. So where do you want to steer your career? What do you want to do with your career or what you do? Like, how do you want to steer your family, your body? And what about how do you want to steer yourself? Like, what is the legacy you want to leave behind? And I'm not just talking about when we leave this world, but if you leave the company that you're currently working with, how do you want those people to remember you, to talk about you? What if you move? How do you want your friends that you leave behind to talk about you? And when your children do leave home, like, how do you want them to talk about you and remember you and talk about you to their friends? So what are your big goals? Like, what is it that you want to accomplish? What purpose and what dream do you want to fulfill? What lights you up inside, okay? So many of us are stuck in these unfulfilling lives, and we're just, the root cause is because we're not clear on what we really want. And it leaves us feeling empty and lost, because even if you have a good job and a healthy family that you adore, you don't feel like you're living the best life, okay? So that's where I was, so I get it, okay? But you have to get really clear about what your purpose is, what you enjoy, what lights you up, and that is the difference between living this happy, fulfilled life or one that's full of just excuses and indecision and, keep feeling that guilt. And so many of us mothers, like, this is where we get stuck. This is where we drop the ball. So, we're not fulfilled. And we're not fulfilled. Maybe that's in your career. Maybe that's in your relationships. Maybe it's just life in general. But it's because we aren't in alignment with what we really want and our purpose, okay? We're not living out our dreams, and it's because we don't even know what they are sometimes. Or maybe we haven't gotten really clear on why we want them. So when you find your calling and then you design your life around that purpose, this is the game changer. And this is what we're all after. But a lot of us we wander through life and, some of us know what we want and we just don't go after it. And others maybe we used to know, but it got buried under all that chaos and the stress, which happens to a lot of mothers, that we don't even recognize it anymore. So, decide where you want to be, where you want to go with your life, what do you want to do, like what woman do you want to become, or who do you want to become, So this is what the second step is. And I know it sounds easy, like, okay, what do you want out of life? But so many of us don't know, or we're not clear about it. So you really need to spend some time thinking about these questions. That's step number 2. And then once you decide where you want to go, what you want to be, you need to set goals around that. Okay? Everybody needs powerful goals in their life. And I could talk for hours on goals. I'm not going to do that right now. We're going to move on. But this is essential. And then once you have those goals, you need to reverse engineer a plan. Okay? Motherhood is difficult. I know. I mean, that's no lie. Like, there's stress and there's chaos, but that doesn't mean that you can't achieve those big things. Like, it just means that you need a plan. You need a strategy, like one that makes sense for your life, but also consistently moves you closer to your dreams and pushes you outside your comfort zone. Okay? So you have to start thinking about now that you know what you want out of life, like, where do you want to be in 1 year from now? Like, what is your goal for the next 12 months? And then once you know that, where do you need to be 6 months from now to be on track for that goal? And then once you know that, where do you need to be 90 days from now? Like, what are your goals? Like, you need to break them down. Like, I worked with this one woman. I just want to tell this story very quickly. She desperately wanted to go back to school and get her nursing degree. That was where she wanted to take her life. It was her lifelong dream. But she had 3 younger kids, a full-time job, and a full plate. And I know that we can all identify with that. But when we really started to dig in, we found that, she was way overcommitted to these things that didn't even matter to her. And she also lacked powerful boundaries, and she was afraid of saying no. So she ended up getting sucked into everything from like birthday parties to long distance friends to overtime at work. And it was really, really apparent that she didn't have a plan. She liked the idea of becoming a nurse, and she talked about it a lot. All of her family and her friends knew that she wanted to go back to school, but she never took action to make it happen. So we started reverse engineering a plan for her. And it was full of actions, boundaries, and it still left a lot of breathing room because she did have those young kids. And when we did this, we found that it was going to take her 5 years to get that degree. And I just remember this so clearly. She said, well, that's not going to work. I'm going to be too old. I'm already 38. And so I just asked her, I said, well, how old are you going to be in 5 years if you don't get the degree? And so she thought about it for a minute, and she said, well, I'll be 43. Well, okay. How old are you going to be in 5 years if you don't go get the degree? And she laughed, and she said 43. So, the time is going to pass anyway. And you could choose to keep complaining and, just talking about it, and the time is going to go by. Or you could follow the plan and take action. And when she had that plan, that's what pushed her to go back. Like, she's about to start her second semester right now. And, we chat like once a month, and she loves having that accountability of that clear plan because there's no more excuses, right? She has a plan. So I love reverse engineering. I get all geeked up about it. So maybe it's because I have all that engineering background, but it's really not that hard. But when I realized that you can apply these same principles to your life, you can get a lot further. Okay, so you can start with these simple questions, and these become your checkpoints. 1 year, 6 months, 90 days, and you can work backwards all the way until you have these bite-sized actions that you can take every single day. And if it sounds intimidating, it's really not. Okay, so start taking action. Reverse engineer your plan. And then step number 4 is you have to set up daily routines that support your goals. Because here's the truth. I love goals. Absolutely. I'm a little bit of a geek about it, but goals aren't what make positive change happen. Daily actions and habits do. So the real change starts to happen when you take action today and tomorrow and every day. So motherhood is crazy, you know. I have 2 babies myself, and I'm right there with you. So we don't want to trade that time with them in the world, and for the world, and it's because of all that craziness that's why we put ourselves on the back burner. We don't take the action that would make us happier, but we have to start doing that. We have to make it part of our everyday, not once a week, not once a month, every day, because when we can build prioritizing ourselves and our goals and our dreams into our daily routine, that's when they become so ingrained in us that they become part of us. And that is when the magic happens. So that is when you can make more progress in a week than you did before in a month. And this is where you reach your goal in a year instead of having it be that same New Year's resolution that you set for 5 years and counting, okay? So it's time to give up the procrastinating, stop wasting your time, give up choosing to do nothing, and choose to live your life every single day. So no matter what it is that you want to do or become, whatever your goal is, it has to be so ingrained in you that it's part of your everyday, because that's when things are changing. Nothing will change unless you make it, make a daily ritual that supports and reinforces your goal. And yes, I know it takes a lot of discipline and accountability in the beginning, but think of like the most successful people that you know. Like, look at what they commit to doing every day, and I bet you'll notice that they've become one with their biggest goals. And if you aren't willing to create a ritual or a habit that really supports your goal, you probably don't really want to change your life as much as you say you do. And I know it's a little bit harsh of me to say, but it's the truth. Like you only kind of like the idea of learning to be healthy or writing a book or building a business or, going after the promotion or changing careers or whatever your goal is, but you don't actually want to do it every day. So one of my favorite quotes about goals, I have a lot of favorite quotes, but one of my favorites is, set a goal that you can't achieve until you grow into the person who can. And what that means is that you're not the person that you want to be right now, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be here with me. You don't have the life that you want. That's why you have these goals and these dreams, even if they've been buried under the chaos, right? So you have to grow into the person who can make that happen. And that takes change. So you have to be willing and ready to make that change and make it every day, or stay stuck where you are right now. Okay, so step number 4 is building rituals and daily habits that support who you want to become and what you want to do with your life. Step number 5, you have to harness the power of your time. How often do you use "I'm busy" as an excuse? Okay, we all know that time is limited and it flies by. I mean, never can we recover that time again. And 5-month-olds turn into 15-year-olds, seemingly overnight. And because our time is limited, we have to be intentional with it. And it's so tough because we feel like we have to do more. And society tells us that we need more. And then when we can't squeeze everything in, we feel like we're failing. But oh my goodness, what a lie we are telling ourselves. Because here's the truth. If everything is important, nothing is important. And if you give equal weight to everything in your life, you can never give enough weight to what really matters. And you'll get caught up in mediocrity. And none of us want that. Busyness is a crutch. And I know as mothers, it's all too easy to lean on it. And I'm telling you, I was there. I used to wear my busy badge around too. And I'd say, look how busy I am. That must mean that I'm a good mother, or it must mean that I'm really important. But that's when we lose sight of our goals. And that's when they get buried under the stress and chaos of always needing to be somewhere, do something, and doing it as fast as we can so we can move on to the next thing. But the really, really powerful people, the really successful women, the women who show up every day, and get what they want out of life, they harness the power of their time. They make time work for them because, like I said, it's going to pass anyway. We can't slow it down. But when we get control of our calendars, our daily to-do lists, when we get control of our days, our weeks, and our lives, this is when we get successful. This is when we get what we want. So once we can do these things, you know, you won't feel like you're running in circles. You won't feel stuck because you're moving forward. You'll be able to be more present in your life with the ones that you love. And that means that we're going to have a lot less of that mom guilt. And you're going to get a lot further faster. I mean, faster than you can even imagine. And you're going to be able to create a life you love. One that's full of fulfillment, happiness, joy, and being the best mother. So when you're fulfilled as a woman first, it spills over into all areas of your life. When you're fulfilled and happy and successful on your own terms, you will see the magic start to manifest in every other area of your life. The relationship with your spouse, the relationship with your kids, your career, the way you show up for yourself, your confidence, your fulfillment. I mean, everything, every other aspect of your life, you'll see start to improve when you work on you first. Okay, so I want to go over some action steps. I'm already running a little bit over, but I want to just give you some things to start thinking about. And you can get out your journal and start just writing it. Write it what comes up for you. Like, how is guilt holding you back in your life? How is it holding your family back? And how can you start to step into the version of yourself who gets what she wants out of life? And what is that? You know, what is it that you want out of life? What is your purpose? What lights you up inside? And then once you know that, what actions can you start taking right now when you're feeling inspired? And then finally, what is one big, scary, life-altering goal that you can set for yourself in the next 90 days? And what is a set of goals so big that it would literally change your reality? Like, think about that, okay? And if you think you can't do it, I'm telling you, I hear this from a lot of women. They say that they've tried everything. And I always have to say that if you aren't seeing the results that you want, then you haven't tried everything. Because change is always possible. It's always right there. It's in our power to do it. We're just not showing up in our lives as women who get what they want. And when you don't show up for yourself that way, you won't get it. And that is the truth. Okay, so with that, I just want to recap very quickly what we covered today. So I promised that I was going to show you what you need in your life to release the mom guilt and how to release that guilt. I wanted to show you, and I hope that I was able to kind of walk you through the steps that you need to actually get into the version of yourself who gets what she wants. And by doing that, how to shed your excuses and start making the most of your time so that you can start making the changes that you want right now. So you showed up here and you stuck it with me. I see most people, I'm looking at the screen, most people stuck with me to the end. And you did probably because you're tired of feeling defeated. You know, you're ready to feel like you're enough. You're ready to feel like you are empowered as both a mother and a woman. And you're done. You're just so done. You're over feeling as though life is just going by, it's passing you by. You're ready to build your legacy. And you're ready to find the joy and happiness that you deserve. And you're ready to make massive changes in your thought patterns and your actions so that you can finally create a life that you love. So now it's up to you. You know, you do have a choice. You can take what we've gone over today and you can start working it on your own. But I really feel that you're here for a bigger reason than that. Because it's not just about showing up here for 30 minutes or 45 minutes and getting inspired. It's about more than that. It's about showing up for yourself and getting what you want in this very short life that we have. So I feel that you're a woman who's ready ready to engineer motherhood in a way that you get what you want. You live your dreams, you reach your goals, and you show up as the best mom possible to your children. And you make time work in your favor. So if what I spoke about today really resonates with you, if you're ready to make big changes in your life and create more joy and happiness as both a mother and a woman, then I want to share a very special opportunity where I can support you in that journey. Here is how you take what I shared with you further. I'm offering a handful of what I'm calling Supermom support sessions. I'm very proud of that little name. I'm offering these sessions to help you step into that version of yourself who shows up for you every single day and gets what you want. And the investment? Well, actually, these sessions are completely free. No charge for you. I just want to help you put these pieces into place in your own life so that you can release the mom guilt and actually start to be present and enjoy the time that you spend with your children and also enjoy the time that you spend for yourself. And manage your time like the savvy woman that I know that you are so that you can accomplish everything that you want to in your day while also leaving a little breathing room for all those unexpected things that pop up for mothers. I want to help you simplify and streamline your days as a busy mom so that you can free up a minimum of 4 hours a week. And usually it's a lot more than that to spend on yourself, your dreams, your children, your family, whatever it is that you want without any guilt. I want to help you set goals and reverse engineer that plan so that it works so powerfully in your life that it practically guarantees that you achieve your dreams. The ones that you have put on the back burner for so long. It's time to change that. So today I showed you the 5 steps you need to take to make those big things happen. To be completely empowered and fulfilled as both a mom and a woman. But without actually putting it into place and getting some accountability, because let's face it, change is hard. It's really tricky to actually get there. And I know everyone's situation is a little different, and that's why I would love to help you with a quick chat. So let's put your pieces together. Now, I only have a limited number of these Supermom support sessions because even though these are one of my favorite things to do, I can't do them all day long. So I just want to tell you before you sign up that these calls aren't for everyone. You have to be really in a place where you're ready to show up for yourself. You have to be ready to execute and take action and stop hiding behind your fears and your doubts that you can't do this because you're a mother. I really don't work well with women who are unwilling to give up, being the victim or being stuck believing that life is happening to you. So if that's you, this call really isn't for you. And if you feel like you're already in a place where you're on track in your life and you're already really happy and fulfilled and you're living your dream, I'm very happy and very excited for you. But again, this probably isn't for you because you'd be taking one of the limited spots that I have from someone who really needs that kind of support right now. But if you're ready to take action and you're ready to make things happen and change your reality finally so that you can show up as a woman who gets what she wants and a mother on a mission who wants to have it all, then this is for you. So here's where the rubber meets the road. Here's where you get to decide what your future holds. And it can be as simple as starting with a simple phone call. So here's where you go to sign up. www.engineeredmotherhood.com/calendar. Just pick a time. It's free of charge. There's nothing at risk here. You have nothing to lose and potentially everything to gain. So I just want to thank you so much for sticking it out with me, being here with me today, investing your most precious resource. And I really hope to be talking to you soon. And in the meantime, you have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week, and rest of your life. Thank you so much.